The DHS has issued a new, what would you call it? Guidelines on the rules, or an update on what's going to be the next presidential address or the presidential signing statement or whatever. The Department of Homeland Security today released this from Ron Nixon and Michael Shear in the New York Times. Released a set of documents translating President Trump's executive orders on immigration and border security into policy. Very interesting. Now, this is not the immigration, this is not the Muslim ban stuff. We're still waiting to hear about that, or at least the details on that. But this has to do with undocumented immigrants in this country. Most of them from Mexico, but people literally from probably every country in the world, or most of them. And it used to be that, well, under the Obama administration, this is again quoting from the New York Times, undocumented immigrants convicted of serious crimes were priority for removal. So the Trump administration has changed that definition. And this is where it gets amazing. I mean, because in order to work, people, make up Social Security numbers and things like that for their employers. And it's just, many of the people working in this country right now have had to lie on one form or another, somewhere, somehow, in order to work. And some families, undocumented families, are sending their kids to public schools, which is arguably a public benefit. And some, if they fall in hard times or if they lose their jobs, actually file for things like unemployment benefits or food stamps. So it used to be under Obama that if an undocumented immigrant was in this country and convicted of a serious crime, rape, robbery, murder, that kind of thing, then they get kicked out. But now, INS, or what is now ICE, agents have been directed to remove anyone convicted of any criminal offense. And that includes, Nixon and Shear write in the New York Times, people convicted of fraud in any official matter before a government agency. Now, and people who, quote, have abused any program related to receipt of public benefits. In other words, you send your kids to public schools, you get deported, right? And they're calling for what they call expedited removals. Under Obama, expedited removal basically means we catch you and boom, we take you back to wherever you came from and drop you off. And under Obama, this was only done if you had only been in the country 2 weeks or less and you were caught within 100 miles of the border. Now it includes anybody who has been in the country up to 2 years and can be anywhere in the United States. And in addition to that, I mean, how do you document you've been here longer than 2 years? And if your documents contain anything that is, like let's say you document that you've been in the country more than 2 years by showing that your kid went to public school, you have now, defrauded the government, and boom, off you go. They note in this Times piece today, the change in enforcement priorities will require a considerable increase in resources. And so they're going to hire 10,000 new immigration and custom agents. Well, okay, lower the unemployment rate, I guess. Expanding the number of detention facilities, more money for the private prisons, and creating an office inside ICE, Immigration, Customs and Enforcement, to help families of those killed by undocumented immigrants, which is, one of Donald Trump's favorite things to whip up the base. They're also reviving a program that recruits local police officers and sheriff deputies, basically turning them into immigration agents. And they're revising the 287G program, which was scaled back under Obama. Nothing in the directives would change, however, DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. In other words, the Dreamers. So that's the one small bit of good news. And I think that was just like, that's a bridge too far.